We are Steven and Jill. Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
hello.
Happy Friday.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show.
Was that for me?
Entertaining land investment talk. I'm Steven Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWit, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about 5 real estate results of the COVID.
I have something funny I was just thinking about. Do you know, we just had rain like a week and a half ago. We had gone, so everyone, I'm sorry if you're not in our state, brace yourself. We had like 100.
Congratulations, you're not in our state. That's what I say.
That's so thumbs up to that. If you're not in our state, thumbs up. Your taxes rock. Okay. But as a side note, I was going to share that we had gone something stupid like 180 days without any weather, if you can believe that.
Yeah.
No rain. It's kind of amazing when you think about it. Like, we haven't had, so what was that, March? February? I don't even remember. But it was a pretty flippin' long stretch of no rain. I just had to.
Yeah.
So when I say sunny Southern California, kind of mean it. As you can see behind us. Okay, back to the question. Are we doing our question now?
Before we get into it, and Jill gets too far into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
I hope I pronounce this correctly. I'm saying Amit. Amit wrote, "Hi all, new to Land Academy and excited to be here. I'm working on my first mailer. The county that I'm working on has some cheap properties and some in a better scenic area that are a little more pricey. What creates an issue for me is to price the offers right."
Welcome to Land Academy.
Yes.
Pricing.
Yep. I'm afraid if I go by the lowest values of Zillow and LandWatch, etc., this will only be applicable to one area of the county and similar acreage in other areas of the county. I probably won't even get a response. I cannot use the subdivision column since, or zip code, since there's a lot of blank spaces, it's empty. Is there any tools to map APN to specific regions in bulk? Any other thoughts? Or price this better and just go for the lowest and see what happens? So this is kind of all on your side of the sheet.
Amit, I'm happy to inform you that you are going to do fantastically well in this career. You're brand new. You're already looking at a county and the data that's involved in the county. You probably don't even know this about yourself. You're probably frustrated as hell, like I am. Every single time I sit down, and the first 10% of doing a mailer is brutal. The last 10% is like, pat yourself on the back. But you're asking all the right questions. You're concerned about the variance in pricing in a given county, and you want to do something about it. And you reached out in land investors to the point where it made it on the show because you care that much, and you're using Land Academy the way that it's intended. So congratulations. So I'm going to answer your question. There's generally 4 or 5 quadrants, I would say, in most counties. I love to use Santa Barbara County as an example because it's so different. Santa Barbara County itself is made up of this mountain area. There's a lot of property there. This core urban area where a lot of people from Los Angeles move to. So there's a lot of dirt, and houses are extremely expensive. And then there's this desert area up in the Northeast. So my point is there's very, very different or very separate parts that need to be priced differently. If you open DataTree and you have a subscription as a member, and you type in some address or some APN that gets you to the county, and then you start searching through the map, and you get down to a certain altitude, let's call it, all the APNs will start to populate. And so you'll see the APN scheme in California, I think it's 3 digits first with a dash, then 4, and then sometimes there's trailing digits. You will see the trend. You will see the northeastern quadrant starts with 104, the southeastern quadrant starts with 202, and on and on and on, and you will start to see a pattern. And so you need to do a 4, if you're going to mail a whole county at one time, which I wouldn't recommend. Pick a quadrant, find out where generally the first APN is and the last APN in that scheme of numbers, and price it that way. And then go to the next quadrant. I use quadrant loosely. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 1. There's certain places like in Arizona is a good example, where there's just like Navajo or Apache County, which I don't recommend sending mail to at all. It's all one price, except for the super urban areas. If you learn how to do this correctly, Amit, and anybody else, you will win forever in pricing. It's called APN pricing.
Thank you very much, Steven. We're happy to have you here on the show today.
It's Friday. Jill's all loopy.
Yeah.
APN pricing is the end-all, be-all when it comes to land. If you're choosing county-based pricing, which a lot of us do, that's one way. This has nothing to do with houses. In houses, we use something called smart pricing. It's completely different. So this is only land and rural land. For urban land, we use the same thing, smart pricing. But this is APN-based pricing for very rural, vacant land or recreational acreage. And if you do this right, it's going to take you, even me, it takes me maybe a day, maybe 8 hours to really sit down and break out those APNs and figure it all out.
That's good. I like that you shared how long it takes, because people need to have a realistic expectation. So if you're brand new, double it.
Yeah, 2 days.
Seriously, 2 days is what you're doing on Saturday and what you're doing on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. Tell your wife ahead of time.
Yeah.
If you prefer mayonnaise or mustard on your sandwich, which she probably already knows. I know exactly what kind of sandwich he likes. I'll tell you right now. This person over here is a sourdough turkey, no cheese. Love the lettuce, love the tomato, hate the mayonnaise, love the mustard. That's your sandwich. Am I right?
Jill, you're my girl.
Thank you. So this is it. This is how we do. This is my contribution to pricing weekends. When would you like your sandwich delivered?
And I'll tell you what, because when that mailer goes out and a couple weeks go by,
then
guess who's making the sandwiches for who?
Then it's like, what do you want for? I'll have dinner ready. Mm-hmm. What time can you come to dinner?
You know what Jill loves? When you go to Costco and you get those pre-made meals. So Costco has like 5 pre-made meals that Jill just loves. The meatloaf,
because it's so easy.
Mashed potatoes and meatloaf. You put it in a little oven thing for about an hour. The stuffed peppers.
Yeah, those are good.
Those are a huge hit.
I like the salmon.
The pre-made chickens that you can get anywhere.
Salmon's good.
Steamed vegetables and broccoli with a little Havarti cheese over it.
Yeah.
So it's
big
not
salad.
This is not gender specific. Who helps who here? It's just the roles we've assigned ourselves.
That's true. Yep. The kids know. Like, we know exactly what's going on. Dad's in charge of dinner. We know why.
And they know what they're going to get.
Yeah. Yep.
Today's topic, 5 real estate results of COVID. This is the meat of the show. I lost my space.
That's okay. I have my 5. How do you want to do this?
I'm gonna set this all up, and then I would like you to just read your 5 without explaining, and then I'll read my 5, and I bet they're crazy different, which I think is good.
Okay, cool.
In March of 2020, this COVID thing hit. I personally was very public about saying, you know what, the real estate world's going to end. Unemployment's at 25%. We can't sustain this. It's an election year, on and on and on. I could not have been more wrong. I was basing most of my information on the 2010, I'll call it 2010 Great Recession, where Jill and I got brought to our knees from a professional standpoint, and we were kept there for 2 or 3 years until we figured it all out. But real estate caused that recession back then, which is unlike what's happening now. COVID caused this thing. What it did, and that's what we're going to talk about here, is separate us. It separated the haves and the have-nots from a real estate standpoint, and we'll get into that. And that's the setup. The real estate result of that is what we're going to talk about here.
Okay. So my 5 real estate results of COVID are: 1, people moving to bigger properties; 2, office space becoming obsolete.
Oh, that was my number 2 also.
Okay. 3, restaurant and retail vacancies. I don't think they're coming back. 4, rent in cities lower, rent in suburbs higher. And 5, you really can live anywhere and work remote for most jobs.
That's my 5 too.
Oh, hilarious.
All right, here's my 5.
Okay.
You don't need to work where you used to work. What you're going to do now as an end user for your primary residence is choose a school system. And so where there's good schools, because these young people aren't stupid, and they don't want their kids to be stupid either, are going to choose good school systems. So school systems are always important, always. Now, twice
More
as
than
important.
ever.
Look, my number one really is, it's created a have and a have-nots. Nobody could have predicted this COVID, and then the response too. Nobody could have predicted that. The people that have careers, and our membership group are these people, and so are we, where you can work from your home, 100% work from home, and hit your numbers. That's the haves. The people who need to go somewhere and unlock a door and walk in there and work.
And make something.
It's extremely unfortunate. Or make something or whatever.
Right.
You know, that's the have-nots. And I'm not talking about manufacturing a car. I'm talking about making a cup of coffee. Mm-hmm. Or spaghetti or whatever. So my number one is have and have-nots. And it's the same. You don't need to work where you need to anymore. Mm-hmm. Just like Jill, office buildings are done. It's over permanently.
Yeah.
There's going to be only special use office buildings, and they're probably going to be attached to manufacturing facilities where you have to be there to see what people are making stuff. And even then, that's going to dwindle. Warehouse and shipping centers, they will replace all those office buildings, and they will be in rural locations because that's where stuff's going to get shipped. It's not going to get shipped into New York City anymore.
That's what we're seeing with the malls, and I think that's a great use for that.
Affordable housing in rural locations that have high-speed internet, hold on to your hat. Mm-hmm. And guess what we buy and have been buying since 1994? Mm-hmm. Rural property that's affordable.
That should be, I'm going to write this down right now.
I wrote yours down too.
Well, I'm like, what would be here's my number one, for every land property or whatever posting you write, you should say 5G great schools. That's going to be what people want to buy. Right there.
I like a G. We
5G great schools.
We should create G's. You know how we have A's?
Oh. What are the great? Oh, okay. That's a good idea.
We'll talk about it, yeah.
That's a good one. A's are for the buying the property, and G's are for the selling the property.
Or locating where to send mail.
Oh, that's good. Cool. What else you got?
My fifth is a different word for Jill's fifth, freedom.
Yeah.
We have freedom now, like we've never had before. And we have choices. And when are more choices bad? That's my question to you. We have real estate choices. We have way, way, way more choices about where to send mail to buy property cheap and resell it. And we have way more data that helps us make a very intelligent and informed decision about where to send mail. More so than we did last year. Mm-hmm. Because there's this huge migration going on. And it's not any real big surprise about where people are moving or where all the demand for stuff is. It's warmer,
easy to see.
Cheaper. Yeah,
everybody knows where it is. You can look at it. You pull it up on your phone. You can figure it out.
The hottest real estate markets haven't changed in 10 years. And I don't mean hottest. They have changed a little bit. They have shifted. And when you take in price, there's strangely consistently towns in the Midwest and the Rust Belt that make that list, but it's only because those properties used to sell for $1,000, and I mean a house, and now they're selling for $50,000, and it's still try to get Jill into a $50,000 house and watch what happens.
Try to get me to walk into a $5,000 house.
No, I mean 50.
I know that too. Okay.
So those are each of our 5 results. So what do? You take a look at this data, this abundance of data. And you decide, this rural part of, let's say, Georgia, or this rural part of northern Michigan is now a fantastic place to buy and sell property. And a year ago, it wasn't. A year ago, it was just a sleepy little thing, and the days on market were 180, and now they're 30. That's what you're looking for, is this shift. And anytime there's shifts in markets, like in the stock market or anything else, people make bajillions of dollars.
Is that a word?
No.
Okay, just checking.
If I say billion, everyone's like, I can make $1 billion. No, actually, you cannot make $1 billion buying and selling real estate. Okay. I think you can make millions a month.
Just checking. Just checking.
I could say gazillion. That's not a word either,
Right.
but that's crazy.
Truth time. We were getting out the dictionary the other day. It's Friday, where we got the topic covered. I can end on this. We were having our own little truth time the other day, and Steven was ever so politely
This is Jill's satire.
pointing out the words that I say. He's like, that's not a word. So what do? I go online, I look it up, and gosh, it is a word. So
It's a slang word, but it's a word.
it is a word. And
The word is
irreplaceable.
No.
Irrespective?
It was irregardless,
Irregardless. That's
which is not a word.
Hold on a moment.
It's an acceptable, unrecommended word.
Regardless. Irregardless.
You know what else I see all the time? Still, as per.
What?
As per is not correct.
I hate
Just
that.
say per.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Per
too.
Jill.
That's like an attorney thing. As per, like you.
Per Jill, change your attitude. That's what I get.
Irregardless, quit picking on my words. And you know what? If you do that, you will get a bajillion kisses from me.
You know what you'll get? A roasted chicken with some mashed potatoes.
I'll take it.
Some steamed broccoli
Thank
with
you.
Havarti
I'll
cheese.
take it. Happy you could join us today. Monday through Friday, you can find us right here on the Land Academy Show.
Join us next week for another interesting episode. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. There's so much opportunity out there.
Yeah, it's true. People should. I hope that they see it. You know, you remember when this first all started? A lot of people were like, we felt the panic
Yeah, I did. I was one.
and depression
Yeah.
and scared. And I hope that we're on the backside of that. I hope that people have found opportunities, because there's a lot of opportunities and positive that you could be doing right now. Like, okay, we're gonna now, like we knew this very sweet couple with a little kid. They packed up and went to Canada, moved in their parents, and her business is doing great. She always had an online business, by the way, and it was her own company. And she's like, I don't need to pay this California rent. She's not nuts, right? Moved in with the parents back in Canada and doing just great. So I'm just saying this to you. I hope that you have found some new niche, positive, silver lining, something to feel good about moving forward.
If you need a job, there are hundreds of thousands of jobs in construction right now.
It's true.
And from the top to the bottom. If you know how to weld, you're going to make $35 an hour out here. So I understand that the unemployment rate, I just looked, is 20%. It's insanely high. You might have to consider changing, your job description and what you want.
And you know what? You might find something better.
And
Be
you know
open to
how
it.
many times I've done that in my life? I can't count.
Yeah.
You have to adjust to the market.
So
the
what?
market's not going to adjust to you.
So what? You know what the beauty is? Now you remember back in the day where dad got a new job and everybody had to be uprooted and move.
Yeah.
And it was hard because you're leaving your friends in your school system. Well, you can kind of keep your friends in your school system because it's online now. But every time you do that too, like we've done that.
How much stronger are you? How much do you learn?
Exactly. I would argue that you're doing your kids a favor by broadening their horizons. And getting them out there and teaching them how to make new friends and pick yourself up and move on.
Yeah.
Find a new opportunity.
You know what? I didn't do it enough.
Go where the work is.
I should have done it more. And I should have been a lot more open.
Interesting.
It all turned out okay. But back when you don't have any money, it's just hard.
Interesting.
Harder to make those decisions.
Thank you for tuning in. We hope you find our content valuable, and we really appreciate your support. Please zip on over to our YouTube channel if you haven't already and watch us there. And while you're at it, please hit the subscribe button.
Your comments and suggestions help us to create the type of content you're here for. Hitting the like button on your favorite episodes helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest in future shows.
We are Steven Jill.
Information
And inspiration
to buy undervalued property.